Okay, what I'd like to do is show you how to solve the 3x3, and importantly, this method is intended to help you teach your kids. And I found that the best way to teach kids to use the solve the cube is to tell them stories. Instead of algorithms, you turn them into stories. Much easier for children to remember. So what I will start, what you will do is start by, of course, scrambling your cube, and the first step is to solve the white cross. You're going to solve an X here on the top, all white, and then you'll go to solving the white layer, then you'll solve the middle row, and you'll turn it over and solve the bottom. Okay, so for the white cross, the way you want to start by solving that is you want white pieces here, 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 and here, and you want the colors that are on the side of them to match the middles around the side, because this is the red side, this is the blue side, so if there's going to be a white there, it has to have a blue there. Okay, so that's the first, solve those four. And the best way to do that is to put pieces that have that are edges onto the bottom first, because then what you want to do is find the match for that bottom piece. So in this case it's two reds with a white on it, and then what you want to do is get that swinging and then swing it up to the top and stick it in the top. Okay, so look on the bottom. Are there any more? Yes, we're actually lucky. There's two more down on the bottom. So line up this blue side here with the corresponding blue side and do that same motion, swing, 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 or maybe it's like a clock ticking to the top. So now we've got two of them in place. Look back on the bottom, there's another one available. That's a green, so match it up with the green side and swing that around to the top. It's a lot of fun to give it a good swing around to the top. Now the last one is not on the bottom in an edge space, so it's going to have to be somewhere on the side. Here it is on the side. So the way you solve this problem is to put it on the bottom, and this is a piece that's we don't need to have in that place. So if you put that down on the bottom, now you know your white piece is on the bottom. You can actually move that white piece to the back, still on the bottom, and put that back up. And now we actually have it on the bottom. It's already matched up to orange, and then all you need to do is swing that back up into place. So there's the white cross solved. The next step is to fix these corners. You want the whites in the corners, and they have to be the right whites in the corners. It has to be white on the top here, orange on this side, and this one has to have a green. Okay, so each one of the corner pieces has its correct location, and the way that you want to orient these corner pieces that you want to go up onto the top, here's one over on the side, is exactly like this, where the corner piece is pointing towards your belly button. And so in this case, that's what's happened. We've got a red and a blue on this one, so we know that this corner piece is going to go between red and blue. So move that over to between red and blue, because what you want to do, point it towards your belly button and have it directly below where you want it to go. So you know that piece has to come up to here between the red and the blue. So this is a little bit like if you've watched my video on the 2x2, you want to go on a swing, but there's a scared kid at the top who doesn't want to go down, down the slide. So we can fix that problem by getting out of the way, stay near the front because you want to keep your place in line, ask the kid on the slide to come down, get them out of there, and then you can go up on the slide. Okay, you're just going to do that a few times. This one is another corner piece that has a blue and an orange. So turn that between the blue and the orange side, and it's actually right there already between blue and orange. Get out of the way so the scared kid can come down off the slide, get into their place, and then go up to the top of the slide. Okay, are there any more pieces in the optimal location in the best possible spot? In this case, no, so we have to fix that problem ourselves. Here's one of the edge pieces down here, and the other one is actually up near the top, so that's a good situation to show you how to fix two problems like that. These pieces here can come out of their location. So let's start with the one that's on the bottom here. We can move that underneath a piece that can come out, and by bending this down like this, we now have the white piece over on the back here. Let's get it out of the way so it's not affected by putting the white piece, part of the white cross, back up on top. So now you actually know that it's facing your belly button with the green and the red side, so we have to put that corner piece right between the green and the red, and you want it to go directly up. So again, scared kid at the top of the slide, get out of the way, get the scared kid down, get it into place so you can go up to the top of the slide. All right, last one. Where is it? It's on the bottom over here. Okay, so then what you'll want to do, since you don't want it on the bottom, you want it pointing at your belly button, you need to put it into the side of the cube, and so you can do that by putting it on the bottom and lowering down the side of the cube, because that'll put it back here. So by putting that down like that, the white one just went to the back, move that out of the way, so now it's over here somewhere, and bring this right back up again. Okay, so now you've got that white one now in the optimal position, pointing at your belly button. Put it right below where you want it to go, straight up onto the top of that slide. Get out of the way, stay near the front, so you keep your place in line. Get that kid off who's scared, get into their place, go up to the top of the slide. You've now solved the top layer. Next step is to come down and take a look at these 4 pieces around the edges. These are edge pieces. We have to actually fix all of them because they're all in the wrong place. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is to look on the bottom for eligible edge pieces. Eligible edge pieces do not have yellows because this is the yellow side now. So we don't want yellow pieces because they don't belong up in here. So any piece that does not have yellow on it, like this one, is a good one. You want to move that into one of the edges. So to move it into the edges, line it up, the one you found, which has green on it in this case, so line it up with green. And you know that it's going to go, since it has orange on it, between green and orange, it's going to go right here. Okay, so to put that right here, well, the first thing you want to do when there's someone living in a house and you don't want them in that house, you want to go into that house, well, get out of the way so they can move out. Okay, let them move out of the house, then out you go, and then back in. Oh, we have a problem. And not really, but you can tell your kid that you have a problem. One of the pieces from up on top just fell down. So that's a problem. Let's put it back, and you should know how to do that. Get out of the way, stay near the front so you keep your place in line. Get the other kid who's scared off the slide. Get onto the slide, back to the top. And when you did that, that piece that we were working on getting into this edge location has snuck in to the house, and they're now living in that house. So they snuck in the back door while we were fixing that piece that fell down. So let's do that again. Look for another eligible piece on the bottom. Here's one, blue and orange. And it's actually lined up already with blue. Here's where it needs to go, right between blue and orange. And then again, same thing happens. You want to move into that house. Well, move out of the way first so that the other person living there can get out. And then bring them down, get them moved out, and you're back into... Oh, we have a problem. This piece has fallen out of its place at the top. So let's fix that. Get out of the way. Let the scared kid come down. Move in to the top. And when you did that, the edge piece we were working on just snuck into its location. Any more on the bottom? Here's another one. Red and green. Lined up with reds already. We want it right here between red and green. So move out of the way. Let the other person come down to move out. Get them out of there. And back up again. This white piece has just fallen out again. That's a problem. Let's fix that. We know how. Keep you to the front so you keep your place in line. Let the scared kid come down, get onto the slide, and go up to the top. And you've just fixed the third edge piece. Only one more to go. This is it right here. It's on the bottom. Conveniently, as we fix these edge pieces, we put the other good pieces down onto these on the bottom here. So this is always convenient. If ever you have a piece like this already in an edge but in the incorrect orientation, and that's your last one to work on, well, that's a bit of a problem because you have no more eligible pieces around the bottom. What you'll do in that case is move any edge piece with yellow on the bottom into that location, which then bumps out the edge piece you actually want onto the bottom layer. You'll then move it around and move it into its correct location. Okay, so remember that. If you ever have a weird piece that you need out of there, just move any piece up into there. Okay, so this is the red one. Lining up with reds. It's got blue on the bottom, so you know it needs to go right here. Move it out of the way. Let them move out of their house. Out they go. And back in. Uh-oh, we have a problem. The white piece just fell down. So let's fix that by moving it out of the way. Let the scared kid come off the slide. Get back on the slide, and up you go to the top. You've just solved the 2 layers. All right, so at this point, if you've gotten this far with your child, go back to the beginning, scramble it up, make them practice quite a few times getting to this point, because the next steps require some more stories. And then what happens after they've practiced several times, flip it over. At this point we go to the next step, which is to flip over the cube. What you'll see when you flip over the cube, this is the yellow side we need to work on now, is you're going to notice one of three patterns. The first pattern would be what looks like this. You'll remember this eventually, kind of like a gun, like an upside down L, and you want it oriented, if you see it like I do, this way, with it pointing to your right. Okay, so up and over. The other thing you'll see, and we'll see it in a second, is a yellow band right across. And once you see the yellow band right across, you tell the story one more time and you'll see the yellow cross. Okay, so we're going to tell the same story 2 times to get to the yellow cross. So that story that you'll tell is flying a kite. And so you hold it like this, with this part here closest to your belly button, and to fly the kite, first you lie down in the field. You let your kite go up in the air. The wind is going to blow it this way. Oh, lightning strikes. And when lightning strikes, you bring the kite back and you stand up again. You get out of there as quickly as possible. So they're standing up. And there you go. You've got the yellow band across the top. So now to then find your way to the yellow cross, you tell the same story again. Hold it this way so that that yellow line is sideways, and lie down in the field. Put your kite up in the air. Let the wind take it this way. Lightning strikes. Bring your kite back and stand up. Okay, so there's the yellow cross. Don't worry, in this case, as well as when we started, having extra yellow pieces around, it's not a big deal as long as you can see that there is a yellow cross there, or that shape, or the straight line across. Okay, if you were to do that kite story a few more times, you'd be cycling through the different permutations of the L shape, the straight line, and the yellow cross. Next step is to match up these edge pieces here at the sides of the yellow cross. So do your best to turn the cube and find a way that matches up 2 of the sides. So this one's matched up here, this side's matched up here, mismatch, mismatch. Okay, so you'll always have 2 that match and 2 that don't. If the 2 don't match, they're usually on the sides, and you'll put those 2 mismatched sides, one on this side, one close to your belly button. But with these stories, even if you forget how to do that, and if you have a mismatch on the opposite sides, you forget how to hold it, just try telling the story and see what happens. And you'll be able to solve it with just a few tries. Okay, so here's the 2 mismatched sides here, and what you're going to tell is the car race. And this is we're in Canada, this is the Canadian car race. So what happens is the flag goes up, 2 cars, 1, 2, leave the starting line, flag goes down, first car, and they go all the way around, come back again, crossing the finish line, flag goes up, the winner is called, and this would be a good time to say that your son or daughter has just won that race, and the second car passes across the finish line and the race is over. Okay, now what you'll need to do is just turn the top of the cube 1 time, and that'll match up all of the edges. Okay, so if you can think of another piece of the story and why you'd turn it 1 more time, then do so. But with my kids, I just say just turn it, line them up, match them up. Okay, so here we have we're now on the final step, and that is to check to make sure your corner pieces are in the right location. So this is obviously in the right location. Actually, this is the right location as well, because it's got blue, red, and yellow, and that matches all of these sides that they're adjacent to. This is in the right place, and this one is in the right place as well. If they're not in the right place, which is very often the case, what you'll do is you're going to hold it so that the good piece, you will find one that's good usually, and if not, it doesn't matter which way you hold it, but if you have a good piece, put that one bottom right. Okay, so as long as one of them is in the right place, even if it's like this, that's still considered a good piece, hold that bottom right, and you tell this story to make the edges go into their correct locations. And the story is the knight rising in the darkness. Suddenly a fireball shoots out from the side, And where did the fireball come from? It just came from the dragon that just rises up. The knight fires back and then hides. The dragon fires back once more and then hides. Oh, these are out of place. Turn them once. Line them up again. Okay, so now that what you'll do is look around to see if they're all in the correct location. And because I just told that story, they're no longer in that correct location. So this one is still correct because it has blue and red and yellow, but the other ones are not correct anymore. This one has an orange on it. Doesn't belong there. This one has a blue on it. Doesn't belong there. And this one has a red on it and a green. This doesn't belong here. So you put the correct one, bottom right, tell the same story again. Night rises. Something fires out of the darkness. What was it? It came from the dragon. Knight fires back and hides. Dragon fires back and hides. Oh, these are out of place. Line them up again. Always remember to do that. Alright, look around again and find the correct one, because they're still not all perfect. I can already tell there's a green one there. It doesn't belong there. Just keep holding a correct one in the bottom right here and keep telling that story until they all work. Up with the knight, something shoots out of the darkness. What was it? It was a dragon. Knight fires back and hides. Dragon fires back and hides. And turn this one more time. Remember, line these up. Okay, so this one's now in the correct location. This one is as well, because it's got orange and green. This one is as well. This one is as well. They're all in the correct location. And actually, you're almost done. At this point, all you need to do is tell the last story. And by the way, that going through the night story was for your benefit. They were all matched to begin with. I didn't have to tell that story at all. I could skip that step altogether. Okay, but that's just showing that you tell these stories several times, you come back to another suitable position. So don't worry if you make a mistake and do the method when you didn't need to. Okay, so this last story where you have all of the pieces in the correct location, even if they're not oriented correctly, that's okay, because that's what the purpose of this last step. Orient the last corners correctly. Okay, and what you're going to aim for is telling the same story several times and then finding the magic pattern where you know you're about to solve the cube. Remember, this is for kids, so there's a correct way to hold this cube when you see the edges this way, and there's different combinations of edges. I would recommend not worrying so much about exactly how you hold it or showing your kid how to hold it. Just show them the story and have them tell it, and show them what the magic pattern looks like when you find it. So let's just hold it any old way here and tell the Piston Cup story. And this year's Piston Cup, I tell my kids, is one that's held in Canada and then in Japan. And so what you're doing is repeating the race. Remember the Canadian race that we did previously? That's in order to solve these edge pieces here. That's the same race we start with the Piston Cup. So first we start in Canada, same thing as before. Flag goes up, 2 racers, 1, 2. Flag's back down again. First racer crosses the finish line and is the winner. And the flag goes up. The second car crosses the finish line, the flag's down, and the race is over. Then, without moving, you switch to the other side. You're now going over to Japan to do the same race over there. There's only minor differences, and you'll see it in just a second. Flag goes up, 2 cars, 1, 2, flag down. And then, in this case, in Japan, the cars go all the way around the course and come across in this direction. Now, first car crosses the finish line, flag goes up, we have a winner. Second car crosses the finish line, flag comes back down. Okay, so in this case, you're just going to keep doing this story, and you'll see things are changing. You'll get different edge pieces. This is not the magic pattern. I'll show it to you in a second. So keep doing the story until you end up with the magic pattern, and I'll show you again in a second. And again, there are ways to hold this, and to be honest, I don't even remember at this point which way I need to hold this particular pattern. So I'm just going to do the Piston Cup again. Flag goes up, 2 racers go, flag comes down, first racer crosses the finish line, flag goes back up, second one comes across, flag goes back down, over to Japan for the Piston Cup final race, flag goes up, 2 cars go, flag comes back down, First car crosses the finish line, flag goes back up. Second car crosses the finish line, and we're back to what we saw before. Okay, so I'm just going to do it one more time. Flag down. Oops, wrong way. First racer crosses the finish line, flag goes up. Second racer crosses the finish line, flag is down. Japanese race, flag goes up. 2 cars go, flag down again. Crosses the finish line, flag up. Second car crosses the finish line. And so now what we've done, we did it a few times, and we found the magic pattern. So there's 2 magic patterns you'll look for, and that's basically the whole cube solved except for these 2. Now you know you're almost there. The first magic pattern you'll often see has 2 yellows in the top and bottom. You should just know you have 2 more Piston Cup stories, and then your cube is solved. In this case, this is really the ultimate magic pattern. 2 yellows sticking out on this side, and so make sure your kids know that this is the magic pattern they want to see. They have 1 more Piston Cup race, and the cube is solved. Okay, so let's do that. You hold, really importantly, you hold the magic pattern over with your right side where the action is starting. So flag goes up, 2 cars go, flag comes back down. First car crosses the finish line, flag goes up, race is over. Second car crosses the finish line, and the flag is down. Switch to the other side. Flag is up. 2 cars go, flag comes back down. First car crosses the finish line, the winner. The flag goes up. Second car crosses the finish line, and the race is over, and your cube is solved. Okay, so I admit the 3x3 is a little trickier than the 2x2, but I think that most kids really enjoy the stories, and I think probably most adults would appreciate stories in the place of some of the algorithms you'll see online. So I hope this helps you, and I hope this helps your kid learn to solve the 3x3.